Ultimately, we're going to be taking a look to see a way to improve just our team fight decision making and overall when to push versus when not, and how to carry with our lead when we have our lead. If you want your own game review, let me know down below in the comments, or come swing by when I'm streaming, or join the Discord and we can set something up. We want this way? Yes, this way. Okay, depending on the time and how long this lasts, I may play one more game. I would like to play 2 more games. I want to do another Apollo, but I'm probably going to do a silver game. I want to try silver out. But what we talked about, Vapor. Oh, okay. So first off there, whenever like they're in your face, especially because you did go shotgun first, and you're gonna go melee anyways. You should, if they're in your face and you can hit them on the wall instead of meleeing like you did, shotgun them. You definitely want to take advantage of your shotgun to get that stun, so that you can get your melee in. And one thing you can do to play around that one is play around the veil. I mean, it's kind of at the beginning, and I apologize, I wasn't as focused, but playing around this veil to your right. So like playing inside the veil, waiting for them to show up and then shotgunning them is a great way that you can take advantage of your shotgun and getting the wall stun. So play around like more of a corner to definitely take advantage of flanking them. You should see Shiv on your left, but definitely be aware of that. Watch out being in front of your minion wave. If you're in front of your minion wave and your enemy minions are there, the minions are going to focus you. You don't have a whole lot of health right now, so you want to definitely try to not take unnecessary damage right now. I really wish the spectator bug on the cooldowns was working. They are lowish health, so if your grenade is off of cooldown at this point, you want to definitely take advantage of that. So like here, you should try to look to, when you see Shiv dashing, you should try to rotate so that you can shotgun them. You really want to try to ways to knock them into something. There's a good grenade there. When you back up and you get to stairs or something you can slide on, try crouch sliding so you get more ammo. That way you can weave in more ammo while shooting on slopes and shit. Thank you for asking me about the... Oh, maybe they don't have the issues with the spectator bugs, Vapor. But I thought everyone still just had the spectator bug on the cooldowns. So this is risky now here. Ultimately, you should either try to focus the minions there to try to clear your way, get some pressure, and keep your pressure up. But really, like, you're not gonna probably really kill them here. So it would be better to instead try to use your time to steal boxes on their side that you can get so that they don't have access to, so that you get your soul lead, because you're not gonna kill those two, maybe Shiv, but you're definitely not killing Mo, and you're not gonna kill the Guardian. Oh, that's it was a nice attempt. Well, what happens if I skip around? Yeah, oh, you don't have it anymore. When I skip around, sometimes it starts working. It starts working properly. So I actually have the inverse where it starts working the other way. Venator's bloody profile is kind of funny. Okay, you're living on, you gotta back up a little bit more. Good trap. All right, now that Graves is here, she can tank for you. Somehow your shotgun connected, but we like to see it. You should try to, you want to kill the healing one. No, so when you're this low, like that one, you for sure want to kill the minion, the healing minion. Sometimes, there's 2 times as well. So this, if you felt comfortable in your abilities, you could instead go with Graves to get the kill. If you see Mo's almost dead, so like your minion wave was kind of stalematy, so you could have instead had went up and pushed up with them to pressure them and then kill the Mo. Instead of coming back here, you could have also, this is depending on what you would want to, because buffs are going to spawn in 5 minutes, so keeping pressure on your lane at that time is important. So you could have stayed and gotten healing right and melee life strike, and then you could have just rotated to get the buff. So trying to play for this buff is very important. And a lot of the times the 430 wave, you want to like create a lot of pressure and then one of your teammates to go get the wave or the buff. So if you had bought melee lifesteal and then healing right, you could have put it on yourself and then go get the buff while getting boxes. So I probably would have liked to see that instead of going to the base to heal. That way you could have been on the map, stay active, get a buff, deny it from the enemy, even though you don't have wouldn't have monster rounds, and then you could sell healing right for later. So you should watch that Shiv's behind you. If you have a melees though like that, you definitely want to try to take advantage and sorry, parries and misses. You want to weave in ahead of your melee for sure on that. Fortunately, y'all were a little spread out on that, but it almost worked out. When you place your traps, make sure to try to place them around something that they can't easily shoot, because they can just go on the side of the stairs and shoot the bear trap. So like putting it in areas around corners like that goes a little bit more to the right. Definitely try to like be sneaky with where you're putting your traps, and then shotgunning them into the traps or the wall or whatnot. Creating basically, a situation that you can put to your side where they're either gonna get trapped or they're gonna get shotgunned, If you were a little closer, you probably could have dashed forward and get in a light melee. If you had put this tier 2 into your shotgun, you would have been able to get a heavy melee off. So, that's unfortunate. Nice cleanup though. And the grenade will kill him. Oh, you shouldn't, yeah. Unlucky. Yeah, definitely be careful of just throwing out heavy melee haymakers. So whenever they're dead, be aware that they're gonna have speed. Post 6 minutes, they're gonna have speed coming back. So you gotta be careful with how much you stay up here. So instead of like focus the Guardian, I actually would kill the minions and then leave. Because if you kill the minions, that's gonna create more pressure for the enemy. And like I said, they can use speed just coming back, and then you don't want to get jumped by Mo or Shiv because Mo has combo. Mo is rushing probably Torment Pulse, but definitely be aware of that. And then like, instead of staying up there, you could have like tried to take some of their neutral camp or your neutral camp or something. Don't spend 10 million years in your shop if possible. Sinners are up and everything, and sinners are really important. Graves is fighting for her life right now, even though she's full health, and you just, definitely don't spend 10 million years in the shop. Those minutes really add up that you could be active on the map instead. That's good. I wouldn't have shotgun, but oh, this is good though. If you had, so in this situation, if you actually have your crossbow, you have an era, you should have used your crossbow on bow. I'm gonna assume you had it available. You should have used it and like just went all in on that. There's no need to have hold that for possibly reasons. Even here, right here, like Shiv's half health. Just use your crossbow. So you can kill it and focus Shiv. You don't have range yet for your shotgun, but yeah, you should have just used your crossbow instead. All right, and one of the key points that you mentioned was like keeping your lead and like using that to your advantage. So you want to take their stuff. So the big thing is what you're doing is good, but not the most optimal. The most optimal is the sinners. Sinners. Sinners are priority over the camp. And I understand sometimes the camp, like what would be better, like is if Graves went onto the sinners while you were doing that. So, but for you, since we asked about you, you should have went to the either their sinners or something. How about you taking their doubles? This is good. This is really risky, but this is really good. This is what you want to do. So like whenever you push your lane out, while you work your way back to your base, whether it's the Guardian, the Walkers, or the Secret Shop, whatever, you want to try to steal the enemy's jungle where possible. And you're doing exactly that. You're stealing the enemy's jungle to keep your lead. The thing is though, like both of y'all, like this right here though, this is now a problem. You should get the buff instead of coming over here first, but there's no reason that this should be happening right now. There's no reason. This is completely unintended. And Graves is, what is Graves doing? She was taking underneath that. Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, you just took an L and I just missed everything that happened. But one of y'all shouldn't have just completely abandoned the lane for this purpose. So if you know the Graves, then let her know or ask her. And if it was you, then if she doesn't respond, then you should just go get it. And then also, like I said, the buff, you should, whenever you launched across, you should take the buff. You should be aware of the buffs every 5 minutes. Buffs are really powerful, so definitely take advantage of those. You bought Cultist. I don't know if you used it because I wasn't here. But if you didn't, before you joined this fight, you should have used it. Ideally, you would want to use it on a tier 3 minion. These guys here, on your way back, just use it. And if not, just use it on a regular minion. That's the next best value. Like you just now used it. Yeah. I hope the camera fixed. Okay. Mo's behind you. You should hear this. And yeah. If you hear the heavy footsteps, just be wary. He's kind of probably coming. Shotgun him. Oh wait, it might be on cooldown. There it is. Nice. Good job on using the your crossbow. I'm not even gonna pronounce the name. So you kind of won that. So get this buff and get this farm. That's what you should do right now. You don't really need to necessarily super fight or try to force this guardian. You should instead take camps, take the buff, and if you can, take their center. That's also just sitting right over here as well. So like if possible, if you can come get this and put bear traps, like you don't want to necessarily go to there if you could avoid it, but good shotgun. Okay, that's probably gonna kill him, so I wouldn't even stick with him or don't worry about him anymore. Okay, hopefully your Mirage is gonna go yellow. Sweet, he did. Mirage should probably teleport. So Ivy's coming, so you need to back up a little bit. Because you don't have your minion wave. What are you buying? Nice strike. So I would go to blue or yellow to try to save this. Or yeah, if you're gonna actually farm, then this is actually this is fine. This is perfect. This is what you want to do. Just hope you're looking over here and seeing this. But yeah, if you can come save yellow from being completely lost, that's will work. Will be good. You can put your trap out. Yeah, so like instead of putting your trap and letting it go down there, if you could put it like in situations where they can't see, like right here, because they can just shoot that, right? You want to put it in spots where they can't just shoot, that they can walk into, or you can connect with like Graves's Graves's route. Okay, you don't chase that. Don't chase that. No, we don't want to chase that. So before you run the urn, well, you need to fix this wave. The reason why we fix this wave is so that, okay, Mirage is doing it. Okay, Mirage should rotate too with y'all, but you want to fix this wave so that pressure is now applied on this lane. So they're gonna have to like, do we fight the urn or do we come back for the wave? So. Yeah, you gotta since we're here, you gotta be careful with throwing haymakers out, because that's gonna definitely be problematic in the future with people just blocking. So let Graves possibly save the Guardian. Giving up a Guardian for an urn at the beginning, like right now, since it's like 15 minutes, is sometimes that's okay, honestly, because you have all of your Guardians. The blue one's kind of the worst one to lose because of this the middle of the map pressure. But if you can get this for free, which you did, okay, you died for it. Oh, nice, nice. Throwing it out like that actually worked out. Okay, so now you can just leave. You just need to leave. You can't really stay. That felt like but that was good. That was good. You should use speed boost on this one, and the reason why I say speed boost so that maybe I'm not sure. Never mind. I take it back.
You are full of surprises, aren't you?
I got one of those for the missus.
Big fan.
Okay, we're healing. All right, where are we gonna go?
Let's go.
So
Yellow.
teleport. I actually okay. Now you need a speed boost. This should be a speed boost so you can jump, mow, or save him. Because Shiv was possibly here too. You also need to have Cult of Sacrifice you got to use. So definitely be aware of that.
I see clear. I see
There's
clear.
Pocket. Pocket's here too. I would maybe just fix the wave. Maybe. Not sure. Gonna get some sunlight. All right. Thanks, BJ. Thanks for stopping by as well. Hopefully, I was able to help out and answer some of your questions. And if in the future too, you want your own game review, by all means, let me know. So you're at the point too now where you can actually kill a tier 3 camp. You can kill a tier. You could kill a tier 3 camp, you know, sooner. But come use Cult Sacrifice on one, and then you can just fight the other one and grenade them. I think that would be better than necessarily just farming or trying to fight the walker, because sometimes it's risky fighting this. But if y'all get this for free, or not free, if you get this, that'll be good too. But you want to try to use cultists before engaging, so you can get the buff of cultists, because you didn't have any buff. But yeah, so this is probably what you talked about with Graves and died for this one. Yeah, I don't think that would have been better or worth it. So what probably would have been better would have been you just farming at least, and someone on green could run the urn. But pushing up to a walker is kind of risky whenever you don't have pressure on the other side of the map. Blue was neutral and green was neutral-ish.
I see the enemy.
Without people really counting and showing up. So you really want to like there's a lot of farm on the map. So you definitely want to take opportunities to farm when you could have and should have and you had pressure to. So like you push that wave and then you don't commit to it, and that's kind of probably what you should do done. For this Guardian, I don't think possibly coming to this Guardian was worth it. Like you could have gone to blue, I think might have been better if they stayed, or even yellow. Yeah, you definitely don't want to shotgun them away though. Okay, so we talked about like what I just talked about for farming. So like this example, you would come over here and take this camp. This is a perfect camp. You don't want to split push this. This is actually really bad. You're asking kind of to get jumped. The reason being, so your whole team is neutral or behind. You're by yourself, and medium's neutral. You don't actually have pressure on here. And there's going to be eventually pressure where Mirage is. If we look here. Yeah, so he's not even on, you know, they're not even over here yet. If we look here, right? So there's one minion, but there's no wave here. So all you see on the map right now, there's 2 dead and there's 1 here. Where are the other 3? So they could easily rotate over here. So whenever, let me just show real quick where they at. So they're not here right now, which is good. You didn't, I mean, we wouldn't know this, but Talon's here. Maybe Talon showed up. Moa definitely didn't show up. Maybe Pocket did, I'm not sure. But right now, you're actually able to get some damage on here. But realistically, this is a very risky decision. I think what would have been better would have been to, once you push that wave out, to instead just farm and then take all this farm that's over here or whatever farm there shows up. And you can just live over here while farming the neutrals and for the next wave. Or if you really wanted to be aggressive, once you push this wave out, you could have tried to, I actually would have think running the urn would have been better because there is 2 dead right now. And your team, like I said, is roughly in blue and they could rotate to escort and everything. So once you had pushed this wave out, you could throw a bear trap out, but then I would have been better to try to get the urn. We're gonna see, it does look like you die here in the next 20-ish seconds. You did get the urn, or sorry, the walker. I'm just surprised that you got the walker. But you didn't use Cold Sacrifice. It's still on cooldown, so definitely be aware of. Let me.
Headed to yellow.
So.
Headed to York.
But like for using cultists, you want to definitely like try to use the tier 3s if possible. At least you're able to get your kill. Sorry, the walker. So another thing that you can do here too. So like we talked about like farm. So like you can come here, eat this guy, and then kill these ones, or eat this guy, go by, and then come back and whatever you need to do. Where'd you go? Are the centers above? Is that why? Fuck, hold on. They're not here. Okay. Yeah. What you just used wasn't like this camp in front of you is more optimal. So, definitely like take advantage of the bigger creeps when you can, and you have a lot of money too right now. So definitely use the secret shops to buy as well. So like what you would do here is you kill this wave, and then you just go leave or go do the urn. Like that's perfectly fine. So you hear Ivy. Oh, now this is scary. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not saying that like spending your money would have definitely helped you, but the reason why I mentioned this though is because like, so you have 5k, which makes you 5k less from 20k. So you actually only 5k. You're on tied with Venator. So even though you would technically be the most fed on your team, you are actually item-wise not the strongest on your team because of you don't have money, right? So Mo is at 14k, and so he's actually at 11k. So you actually probably, I guess Mo at least would have been a better situation, but I mean you need to get jumped. So that one is like just like being aware. Like that's why I was like even fighting the walker was risky. And I'm surprised they did it then. But whenever you put yourself, you know, post neutral and you don't really have pressure other side of the map or your team's not around you, just you need to be aware of like, or be cautious that they could rotate. And the more comfortable you are in your character, the less caution you should have. But the big thing, at least with Venator, is Venator doesn't have a whole lot of movement. He's a big slow boy with 3 stamina right now, but he can't really move around quickly, so he can get jumped pretty easily. Which is playing Venator, you need to be aware of that. I'm hoping this is just okay. Yeah, okay, it is not. Yeah, so definitely be aware of using cultists a little more frequently. I say that as someone who also struggles to use cultists off every cooldown, but you don't want to have times where it's off of cooldown for long. There's sometimes better where you really need to wait for a big tier 3. Like I said, if you can't find a tier 3, just use it on a regular minion. The regular minion will give more souls than a tier 2 camp would. So like if we look here, these tier 2 camps, the minion wave gives you more souls than them, but it does not give you more souls than the big tier 3. And you can kill the big tier 3 as well. So here, I actually don't think this is the right call. You shouldn't be farming when this is happening. So you're relatively close to this.
Headed to Broadway.
So I'll pause and rewind. So the reason why is because if you do this fight here, y'all can go mid boss. After 20 minutes, once 20 minutes starts getting near, or after 20 minutes, when you get kills, if there's team fights that are about to happen or whatever, you need to be involved in those fights so that you can get numbers advantage and then use that to either do mid boss or run urn. In the situation, you should focus mid boss. But you farming during the time that this team fight you really need to secure this team fight is not the right call. So you should have rotated there, because but you got bebop, oh that's good. But okay, so the other reason to be why is if y'all kill this, you go mid boss and then you take this, like in the best situation, like you get these for free if you do mid boss. So that's the reason why. So you at least notice this now, which is good. But yeah, you shouldn't have been there in the first place, because then you could have done this. So your team now should rotate and collapse on the Shiv and Pocket. Put some traps down. You have rapid recharge, so definitely take advantage of that. That L's gonna kill you. You shouldn't yet. If you have speed boost, activate it.
Walk away while you still have the chance.
Wait, he just used Affliction. Did he get Affliction again? Bro. Or no, that was Ivy's flying in. So basically what happened there is you showed up to the fight a little too late, and by the time you did show up, the fight was like so unorganized and chaotic that you couldn't really fully capitalize on like anyone, and then their team was just constantly starting to trickle in and have the numbers advantage while they had their abilities up. So that one was just kind of misplay of like you got there too late. That's the biggest thing. Like you should have just been there in the first place. But then ultimately it was just their team just was a little bit more efficient, unfortunately. So. Probably should just sped up though, like past us. Mirage is teleporting. Why? What? Why?
Ready for the fight.
So you know Shiv is here, but you're gonna farm this? That's like kind of yeah. Unless you're just gonna bait him because of that and you felt comfortable. So like if you felt comfortable, you know it works. I hope you heard the Sinclair or not Sinclair, the talent trap.
I know what you've done, Shiv.
That worked out, so that's good. That doesn't always work out that way. Celeste should not be up there. Celeste should, so you lost your walker. So what I was gonna say though is like I think maybe if you just backed off and you could have convinced Warden to come up there, y'all could have done mid boss. Bebop and Shiv are both dead, and y'all were around blue. Most of y'all were around blue to begin with. I think y'all could have just did mid boss. So you, from that side, you see a numbers advantage, and y'all are especially if y'all are all at blue, really try to take mid boss when you can. Ultimately, people are a little scared of not knowing when to take it, but you can take it quicker than you realize if like most of your team is there. And y'all have majority gun people or gun damage, which is the main DPS check to kill mid boss, especially as Venator and Warden and Mirage. So like if you can save this fight that's happening here, and definitely for sure. Oh, there's 4 here now. Now this is risky. You can shotgun him to wall. Nope. Gonna do just a warp stone. I would probably use your crossbow now, maybe. If you see their health low enough in pocket. Mainly because I was talking about pocket, but fortunately you got afflicted, which sucks, but you were able to kill them, which is good. Mirage is going yellow. So, do I read that? No. In your heart, if you do, that'd be funny. I'm gonna be like Zergy and just start reading off quote lines whenever things happen. Whenever pull out my crossbow or whatever, no biggie. So depending on the timer that was going to respawn between these ones and your team, I would almost suggest again to try to go do mid boss. If these ones were like 30 seconds, but these were like 5 seconds before they spawn. Because again, y'all could have probably forced this. From here though, you're kind of like looking at an opportunity to get a jump on their team. To get a numbers advantage so that you can do mid boss anyways, ultimately now at this point. And now Pocket says focus you. So yeah, from here, okay, though this part though, this is risky. You're starting to move halfway, and you know Talon was around here, and maybe even Pocket. And you should see it on the map. Someone Shiv's here. You need to leave. You need to leave. So they could easily collapse over here if they know all of them are here. So Celeste isn't really kind of like focus on this, but maybe you can kill them. But I'm just at least turn around. I guess is what I'm getting at. There's 3 here. Yeah, this is the reason why. Like this, where you're at could easily turn into something horrible, and you don't need to die here, or 2 of y'all need to die, because if they're a better team or more focused on it too, they get you, and then they can go do mid boss. I would probably get something to remove debuffs or whatnot, or reduce how much you had like debuffs on you. But selling regen for resilience is good.
Headed to yellow.
You could also honestly, like, depending on this, I would maybe even get knockdown if no one else on your team has knockdown, and which no one else on your team has knockdown, because of the flying talent. Not only that, but you should know he's coming for you. Okay, but not only that, they have Bebop, they have Mo. They have 3 people that knockdown will work well on. I'm not saying Venator necessarily needs knockdown, but like it could help you out. So I'd at least be open to it. Oh, that's unfortunate macro-wise. So from here, y'all killed Talon, and then y'all like try to force this walker, but without like the rest of the other 2 team members. Again, from here, I would tell your team retreat and just start pinging mid boss. Y'all could have definitely for sure did mid boss from there off of that one, and then if y'all could have all focused it at least, because that would have at least favored a fight in your side, because between your traps, between Graves' root, between Kelvin Dome, between Warden, so like both teams have a lot of mid boss contesting, but right now y'all would have had numbers advantage, and I think that the fight would be more favor to y'all if y'all had the focus of the center fight. So you can definitely go mid boss with 1 person down, as long as they don't just have Dynamo that has, you know, Dynamo or Abrams, someone unstoppable, etc.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
But yeah, like even if you like, you could like Graves would be good for
Yellow walker.
Graves would be good with knockdown. Kelvin would be good with knockdown. But so like I said, so like even if you don't get knocked down, you could ask one of your teams to get it. Like, yo, they have 3 people for sure that would really benefit from knockdown, or even pocket if you can get it between his case or cloak. 3 people for sure that would really be good that knockdown would be on. So even if you don't get it as Venator, because you don't necessarily, ideally you wouldn't get it as Venator, but you still need to like adjust your build accordingly if you need to, and if one of them really kind of like helps or saves your team, you should take advantage of that. And knockdown would be really good right now, especially if you're like flying away like that. You can just knock down him and then jump on him and stun him. I wouldn't say get it, you know, every game or whatever, but again, just so again, like you're kind of like farming. Oh yeah, so normally I'm okay with like the farming and stuff and ignoring team fights, but if you win this team fight, which is happening, y'all for sure do mid boss. So I think in this instance, the longer the game goes, is what I'm getting at, is like you need to be aware of team fights that are happening that you can rotate to or should be at, because if you win those team fights and you do objectives, right now you're doing the urn is great, but you don't really have the numbers. Like you pick a poor time to try to run the urn, because Graves died and now Warden died while you're running over, so they should just jump you. So like you picked a very poor time to try to run it. So, and like doing the doubles is great, like you want to do the doubles, but you're trying to do them when things are happening that you need to be involved at, because team fights is the problem the longer the game goes, and when you're not there to like secure kills. They should have just did mid boss, to be honest, but it's kind of what I'm getting at, right?
I'm ready for the wicked.
Holy frame lag. Okay, we have some souls. What is Celeste doing? She's box farming. You should have tried to buy before you'd come over here, unless you're saving for like glass cannon or something. Unless you're saving for like glass cannon or something. So you have a lot of souls right now. Getting the centers is good, of course, but so like you push this wave and then you go to the secret shop or you go back to base to buy at this point. I don't actually though, like clearing this part too, like I'm fine with this, but just be aware right now, like if you start to overextend too much, or not overextend, but like go too far, you could be in a bad spot. Definitely should try to use your grenade sooner.
The Archmother will bolster your.
But yeah, you have 9k, so hopefully you're gonna go buy now. Which it does look like that's what you're gonna do.
Don't mind the blood on that. It's gently used.
Okay, we need to kill this Shiv. Shiv got out.
Our green walker is under attack.
Warden got jumped, or pulled, I mean. So you're like looking for the opportune moment to like try to shotgun him. If the angle's not there, don't try to like super force that. You can still just also do like light melees too, and just smack him. The more rather was more getting at is like we're walking directly into the enemy to try to look for that angle to shotgun them when they could have just like super jumped you. So that's what I was more kind of getting at. But here they got their kill. Let's see if you can get. Okay, that's a good kill.
Glad to be of service.
Jumping Bebop, I think, is the right call. Unfortunate affliction.
Kelvin endures, as must you all.
Okay, so if y'all can get the kill, then great. If you can't, okay, I would say he's out. You just ping mid boss.
Headed to Broadway.
I would just ping mid boss. One of them can. Okay, I'm surprised they got him.
Walker is under
You can come down to start this, which is good. You might die from this. Hopefully someone comes down. Kelvin, someone. Okay, this is now. You have to get this up. Yeah. So like that sucks. This is exactly what you should have done, which is great. But now it's gonna be too late. Honestly, you and Mirage can't take this. Like Kelvin left, and Celeste stayed. Like that's why I was like, I'm surprised that they got this. I'm very concerned about this.
the Rejuvenator is descending.
Good job.
Got a little surprise for you.
Death consequences once more.
Good shotgun. I'm surprised that worked. Okay, so in future, what you do whenever you get mid boss is you look for urn. You should always try to get weave in urn weaving as soon as you get mid boss. Somebody should come get the urn instead of like you have the live advantage. You want to keep your advantage. You do that by the urn. The urn is what keeps your advantage. You almost have knockdown on him or stunned on him because of it. So. I don't know if you could have got crushing blow on that.
Your heroism is inspired.
I would sell close quarters whenever you have this. Yeah, whenever you have this much, like CC. Why is this bugged? Whenever they have this much like debuffs on their team, I would get debuff remover. And so okay, I'm gonna just pause this for a bit. The other thing that happens a lot of the times in all ranks is that like trying to force this last walker. The last walker is kind of a bait. Like y'all came up here, and so when I was talking about the urn, and the other reason why you want to keep your lead, you are trying to force this right now, and you don't really like. This is very defense heavy for this side, and y'all been mostly neutral between the two, so it's never been like a complete one-sided. And what that means is that you're not just going to easily walk over this walker, and trying to force the last walker isn't worth losing the reju most I'm gonna say most of the time, because what's gonna happen is like you're gonna overfeed and then the enemy team kind of wins because of the long respawn times. So whenever you had this and you kind of like waited or whatever, y'all should have just backed off and wait till the rest of the pressure was kind of like fixed on the other side of the map. But mainly, again, if you did the urn, because then your whole team would have gone. What are we at here on the urn here? Fuck. Your whole team would have been divided. You know, your whole team and your team in total would be another 10k richer. So, that's why. Also, I'm glad this is horribly bugged. But like trying to force something out of this is not worth your last revive.
Don't forget this, Kelvin.
Thank you for tending to our
So Pocket's overextended now.
Traps out.
So while your team is far, like I talked about like overextending or whatever, like their team like shouldn't be fighting, but glad we're getting more snow stuff. Now you have no rejuve, so your 2 to 3 of your team stayed while you backed off to farm, and the rest of your team as well wasn't fully there. So like, it's not really. Your team just kind of like wait, like that's like you don't want to like. That's just like overextending for like no need. Good to use the warp stone.
Teamwork.
You could try Iridomi. You could try using your crossbow over there, but you just kind of. So in this one, like you just kind of like left Ivy. Sorry, left Graves. Like your team's kind of trickling in now at this fight, and also Pocket's pushing green. So, which isn't really what you want. And now you're just kind of like, I'm not gonna go over here because like these team kills would matter. And instead of getting the centers, like normally this is fine, but like your green wave is crashing and your blue wave is crashing as well. So you need to like focus on the map and be aware of the lane pressure that the enemy created, because both of these are bad. Both of these are bad.
Headed to Greenwich.
I want them to burn!
Okay, you left with this next wave crashing. Whenever since it's safe to, you should try to always clear 2 waves so you create pressure on that lane. Leaving this and now so like Kelvin had to come here or whatever, or maybe not, but like if you stay here to clear this wave would already be like moving along and possibly crashing on their walker. Okay, we're gonna speed this up a bit at this point to see what happens. Oh, we watch you. Yeah, definitely don't spend 10 million years in the shop if you can avoid it.
I see Shiv.
Your warden is almost dead. So like you're like looking possibly maybe a fighting, but again like look at this wave right here. Like y'all can't, you shouldn't rather have tried to take this fight while yellow is being crashed upon.
I see Bebo.
Instead of selling cultists for Fleetfoot, you should get Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic at this point in the game with all the debuffs that they can put on, between knives, between Spirit Burn, would really help in this situation. Or if he actually bombs you, which he doesn't look like he's bombing to begin with, but so at this point the enemy team won that fight, so we're gonna see what happens here. Shiv is dead. Hopefully that fixed stuff. No, it didn't fully fix everything. Okay, you buy Spellbreaker, you sell Spill Resilience. I think you should have Possibly just sold reactive so that you keep spirit resilience with Spellbreaker, in my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe it's not as bad. I'm not sure. Maybe it's okay. It's okay. So Celeste is dying. Celeste's dying is very bad because mid-boss spawns in 20 seconds. You have a big wave crashing on yellow now, which is good. Hope you heard something.
I'm waiting.
Mid-boss has arrived.
So I wouldn't run through main on this way to get it because yeah. So like, whenever you picked up the urn, like going back towards like where your walker would be better because you had no, like there was no other map pressure when you went to pick that up. And yeah, it's like you can use debuff remover for this. The walker is very risky business. You don't want to push up there. You've taken 2,000 damage in 30 seconds. This was overextending. Like so from there you were like looking to try to really force something, which, and like sometimes like trying to really force that thing to happen is not good, or like you lose because of that. And that one I would say is definitely because, so you went up here and you went here and then you were kind of lined up here. You like went frontlined when you shouldn't, when you didn't really have, like, whether you shouldn't have been the frontlining one, or at least like your whole team wasn't there to follow up on you. So in those situations, like that's like, it's the last walker. They have defensive underneath that. Like trying to get the last walker isn't always really worth it. Instead, really what you wanted to do, once they backed off, you should have backed off and either look on the map or focus the urn. Because if you get the urn and your team, you tell your team do the urn instead, y'all could rotate together as a team to do the urn instead, which gets them away from the walker and may have a better moment to fight mid boss, or sorry, to fight as a team instead underneath their walker where they're stronger. Unfortunately, most of y'all died, so they did mid-boss and tried to get something off of that, and they weren't able to like fully recover. And that's basically the game at that point, because there's like 5 minutes left here. We'll see if anything else drastically happens, but I think this might just be GG's here. Oh, that's unfortunate. So from here, probably what would have been better, and then probably what would have been better. Let's get away from this. Once ever you got afflicted, I think I might would have tried to like back off to go back to the base and heal and just use speed boost. But yeah, that's basically kind of GG at this point from here. The reason why they were able to take it because they had more team affecting abilities, you know, whenever they had what the rejuve, I mean, and
Your rivals are all
3 of your team was still dead. So I think you only got there by yourself at once without your whole team. So you weren't really able to, in a strong situation, to defend the last walker. Yeah, so hopefully that helped, Vinny. Like I said, the biggest thing that I saw was trying to being at times or farming at times when it was probably better to just focus on the team fights that were about to happen or needed to break out and be set up so that you could be involved in those fights, and then focus a little bit on different priorities and try, instead of trying to force, you know, either a kill whenever you weren't in a strong position because you don't have any pick characters like to pull them or displace them or whatever, or lock them down outside of your trap, but nothing like Mo Bebop, Paradox, Holiday, etc. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Looking for opportunity to find one of their players instead isolated so that y'all could collapse on them. And if that doesn't occur, then instead look for opportunities to like just do the earn instead. And whenever you had your numbers advantage, really try to do mid boss sooner, and then using mid boss rejuves to run the earn and then just farm instead of like, let's attempt to get the last walker whenever it's not, when you're not in a strong position to take it. But that's kind of what I saw, and hopefully, like I said, it's helpful.